Hey, and we're back. This is Christy Sprarks and Gary Nolly, and you have heard in our first two videos the 1-2 step in how to start a conversation with a Medicare client and turn that into a conversation about annuities. And basically, we're going to take that just a step further. And Gary, specifically, once you have that meeting set up, so you mentioned in the last segment that you mentioned, hey, let's set another time to go over that. But in the meantime, if you have some idea what the numbers are, I can run something so we have something of value to talk about at the appointment.
Right.
So when you get those numbers from that client and they go on their merry way and you have your appointment set, what's your next step from there?
Call Gordon. Seriously. I know a lot of the Medicare agents that they don't have the same background I do with life and annuity. So that does help me a little bit, but it doesn't help me in today's world like it used to. When I was a captive agent, I had 3 or 4 products. I knew them, and that was all I had to know. Okay. Well, as an independent agent with all the different companies and the different products, and they're changing rapidly, index annuities, the different lifetime income riders, and all the other things that are going on, nursing home riders, and all that. I can't keep up with it. So I get I get the information. I pick up the phone or I send an email to Christy, and I just say, here's the scenario, the age, where the money's coming from, qualified, non-qualified. Give you, and if you don't get it all, Christy will come back and ask you what she needs, and I'll tell you, hey, income's not important, or hey, income's important this year, because not every company can you take a lifetime annuity immediately, a lifetime income immediately. And some you have to wait a year, wait 2 years, and some of that changes. I literally sold a client last year one product. Another client came in a month later with almost the exact same scenario. I said, we'll use the same product. Christy says, it doesn't work that way anymore. It literally changed in that month. So you don't need to be an expert on all the products. You need to know a phone number. And that's to call
my phone number.
Christy, Gordon Marketing, or even if it's a life sale. I made a tremendous life sale a couple of years ago, picking up the phone and calling Randy for one. So it came the same way, having a conversation, building trust, and transition to a large life, the biggest in my career. So it's all called, I just pick up the phone and call the experts. And use you guys to do, to provide me with that information.
So that's kind of the key thing, I guess. I want to make sure, first of all, step 3, right? So step 1, you deal with the presenting problem. You handle their Medicare needs and questions. Step 2 is you transition into a conversation, letting them know the other things that you do. And there's the 3 points that you go over so that they know what you handle. And then the final step would be to call Gordon Marketing. And Gary mentioned that his background initially was as a captive agent, but it was with life and annuity. So, he had some background in that. Some of you guys may be having done nothing with life or annuity. You've been primarily Medicare and that's it. When you call in and you want to have a conversation, I'm not automatically going to talk to everyone the way I talk to Gary or, anybody else for that matter, simply because everyone's at a different level, at a different place. So what we do at Gordon Marketing is we coach. So when I started this conversation with Gary and with you all, we talked about how we wanted to do something. Use a great idea to get out there and help our agents who have Medicare business turn it into annuity business. That means training. That means educating. That means taking the time to take a phone call, even if you're in an appointment, because the person you're sitting with has a question you don't know how to answer. It means you having my cell number, unfortunately. Just kidding. And I have called that number before in the middle of an appointment when something changed in our conversation. And I said, oh, this is appropriate. We need to
pick
switch
up the phone. Call, hopefully available, and if not, you call me right back. Tell you what I'm looking for. Email me something, or I can go and do my own if you direct me to whichever way. So whatever you're comfortable with, you can do that. So that's nice to have that there.
We don't only want to help you, make money and learn how to look for those opportunities and make the sale. We want to equip you to make that sale. And as Gary said, the products and the companies change frequently. However, that's all I do all day, right? Sadly, how sad does that sound? That's all I do all day. I just know what's going on in the annuity world. But I do. And that means that if you ask me something, I can pretty much shoot you back a scenario, a case development, an illustration, whatever you need almost right away. We make sure that you're compliant. That's another big thing. I know with Medicare Advantage, you have to be compliant. With annuities, it's the same way. With suitability and now with the possible Department of Labor ruling, we will make sure you're compliant. You will have a system and a track to run on. You will have all the forms you need. You will have the structure you need. Everything you possibly need, we're going to have and already do have lined up and ready to go. So you don't have to be afraid. You really just have to learn to ask, right?
Exactly.
You just have to learn to have this conversation and these few things.
And you'll be surprised what you pick up. Again, most of my clients are blue collar, Joe Lunch Bucket folks, but they have 50. Last year, a client shockingly had $330,000 in his 401k, and his wife, who had retired a year before, had $110,000 in her. We got both of those.
Yeah,
that was nice. I'm currently working with somebody who you would have never imagined had $500,000. He's halfway to being a millionaire.
Right.
And we already got $50,000 from something else, and we're working on the other.
Sure.
And again, thank you for your help with
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you
we
for
don't know how that's going to come out, but those were absolutely conversations with people in both of these. I never knew them before. We just built trust. They trusted me, and it worked out. And you can do the math on that as far as how much you make on that.
I was just going to say, give us an idea.
Well, yeah, I think that's important because most of you are doing Medicare. You're making either 200 or 400 in round numbers if it's a renewal sale
or
a first time to Medicare. And so let's just talk about the three, even a small sale, whatever. To do $50,000 in commissions is not unheard of with annuities. It doesn't take a lot. At all. Depending on what level, you're all going to be at different levels of commissions. But when you ask that, if you get 4, 5, 6 sales during the year, $50,000 to $100,000, guess what? That's $500,000 or $600,000. You're looking at $20,000 or $30,000. Do the math. That's probably 100 to 150 Medicare Advantage sales. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. 127 of those sales. Now, granted, they pay renewals. They also have a lot of work with them because sometimes they go away and you got to rewrite them.
Sure.
But with annuities, you get that commission, and guess what? It didn't go away.
Right.
I mean, once you get that commission, it's yours. And
you can reinvest that in your business and continue to keep that going.
And that's, again, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to get that money.
And that's
a stockbroker or another agent.
That's exactly right.
So it might as well be you because it's your client.
I was just going to say, they've already said yes to you.
Right.
They are already your client. You've already gained their trust. So why not do them justice and help them with the other things that you actually have their best interest in mind?
Right.
And you know that already, and they know that already. Well, Gary, I really appreciate your time. It's been fun having the conversation with you, and it's been great to kind of get the details out. And I'm super excited to see how much more your annuity business grows this year. Hopefully. And we'll maybe check back with you and see how much better it got.
Call Gordon.
There you go. Woo woo. Thanks. Talk to you soon.